Coming up, PoloGab's way too early top 5 power forwards for season 88. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Bolero. Sam here with the Sultan of Sando, Mr. Gablim, and Maui Yap. What's up, guys?
Yon. Bago umalis for the US, I got a gift for UAAP fans. Kailangan
Tapusin na
sulitin.
natin yung top 5 ni PoloGab.
Yep.
So,
I am
for
headed
to
for the United States in a couple of weeks. So,
magsa-scout si Gab ng bagong talents. Scout pala
Di
yun.
bagong talents para sa Boleros.
Para sa Boleros. Anyway, nakita nyo naman yung intro. We're going to talk about the top 5, way too early, top 5 power forwards for season 88. PoloGab made the list for us, so let's show the presentation with PoloGab. Gab, let's get started.
Let's go. I was talking to you guys before we started recording, and I said I wanted to get spicy at the top of my board. But ako mismo hindi ko kaya maging spicy because it's hindi ko magawa ngayon na ilagay number 1 yung sa tingin ko I think eventually maging number 1 power forward for the UAAP. But I am gonna go with the obvious number 1 power forward right now in the UAAP. It's Francis Lopez. I don't think anyone can argue against it for now. He did hit the biggest shot of the season in season 87, game 3 of the finals against LaSalle. He's still an athletic beast. I think in the country, there's no one as athletic as him. He's just Francis is just a beast just by his athletic prowess. Now the skills have not caught up with his athletic abilities yet. I think we're still waiting on that. Maui, it's been a topic of conversation here on Boleros about Francis's development. It has not come as we'd hope. He's still mostly a one move player offensively. His shot is inconsistent, but you cannot doubt that his athletic ability alone just allows him to dominate in the college level. I want to see him in bigger leagues, in professional leagues outside of the country. I do think he has the physical abilities for that. Now, whether his skills are up to it, we'll see for this upcoming season. I think he's enough to go. He has enough to make it to leagues like the NBL, the Euro League, and hopefully I can dream big for him the NBA kung kaya niya. But he's getting up there in age. Yun ang problema ko why I'm a bit concerned about Francis Lopez. He's getting up there in age already. If he wants to make it to the NBA, it has to come soon. If he can't spend 5 seasons in the UAAP, by the time those 5 seasons end, he'll be 25. So, it's honestly, if kung ako to for Francis, I would say Francis is a make or break season. If you want to make it to the NBA, if you want to fulfill your dream of playing in the United States or even any top tier league, it has to come immediately, sooner rather than later. But now for season 88, he's definitely gonna be the number 1 choice at power forward. They were starting Belmonte over him for majority of the season last season. Of course, Francis still played the majority of the minutes. When it came to the most important parts of the game, si Francis pa rin yung kumukuha ng majority of the minutes for the UP Fighting Maroons. I do not believe that Belmonte is supplanting him at any point as long as he stays there. Si Eniguez is probably the other power forward replacing Torculas. I don't think he's taking a lot of minutes from Francis. In close games, when the games matter, it's still gonna be Francis Lopez. Picking up the most difficult defensive assignments at times. He did guard Tongkara. He did guard KQ in some of the games. And if the shot ever comes around, if it becomes as consistent as we want it to be, I mean, he's deadly. I mean, he's already unstoppable yung going to the rim. So, just kahit mid-range shot lang, okay na ako eh. Just that will make him very unstoppable already in the UAP level. Maui, Sam.
Yeah. Good point on the on him being unstoppable. Parang I remember at one point in the season, there was a time he was finishing I think at 70% in the ring. That's as good as it can be in the UAAP, diba? That's crazy. Crazy efficiency when you talk about a player in the UAAP. I can't say it's disappointing yung development ni Francis Lopez, but because of how KQ has transformed throughout the years, I think that's where the disappointment comes from. Diba? Every off-season, we've seen KQ with an addition to the bag. Diba? He started out with the 3-point shot. Now he can facilitate, hit the mid-range shot. That's something that we expected from a guy like Francis Lopez. The expectations are sky high. I think it comes from the from the history that he was supposed to go to overtime in the US. If you look at that roster, two of the guys from that team, the twins, si Eamon and Asor Thompson, are athletic freaks who have developed nicely in the NBA, diba? So I think that's where the expectations have come from Francis. I think there hasn't been a player like him. Maybe the closest has been si Kobe Paras in previous seasons. But when you talk about athletic freak here in the Philippines, is probably at the 99.99 percentile, di ba? Even if you look at the past 3 or 4 decades here in the Philippines, that's how athletic Francis is, and that's how dominant he has been, despite not being as polished as we would like to see him. But hopefully, hopefully continues to develop. We are still hopeful here in Boleros. We want to see him have a big future, whether it be international, playing in an international league, or whether it be playing for Gilas. Diba? I think everyone has been excited ever since he suited up for Gilas. The problem with Francis, I think, is yung motivation. Diba? I don't know if he's motivated from game to game. Parang there are games that it looks like he takes off. Diba? Parang kasi maybe he values the games that matter on a different level. Diba? And I think it boils down to the question, is the competition not too good? Is the competition lacking for Francis to take every game 100%? Diba? So, is that a byproduct of him deciding to stay in the UAAP for, this is gonna be his 3rd season, diba? Tama ba? 3rd, Francis Lopez.
Yep.
But I've been saying this, I think since last offseason, I would be surprised if he goes for year number 4. Diba? Kasi as Gab mentioned, the age is starting to, the reality with basketball is the age is starting to catch up. Diba? Players peak at 25 in international leagues. Diba? There's a reason why players like Carl Tamayo and Kevin Kiambao have decided to go pro early, because they wanted to try to get to higher tier leagues, diba? Starting with the KBL and Tamayo in the B League. So, as Gab mentioned, I think that I would have to agree that this is a make or break season for Francis. He has to impress the scouts. Whether he wants to start in the B League or in the KBL or in the NBL, this has to be that season. I think he has to take that leap. Diba? Kasi if he doesn't take that leap this season, when will he take that leap? Diba? In year 4 or year 5, that was actually my initial expectation was he would be a one and done player in the UAAP, but it's that
same expectation tayo, Maui.
Sinabi nyo nga yun, yeah.
Last season was understandable because he wanted to win that championship, and now he finally has won that championship for UP. So what's gonna be new for Francis Lopez this coming season? Will he take that next step? But without a doubt, arguably the number 1 power forward coming to season 88. Sam.
And also, for those arguing, no, he's not a wing. He played nearly 0 minutes at the wing position, despite all the hopes and dreams of UP fans of him playing at the wing. There are just too many guys on the perimeter for UP for him to slide down. I think he's a natural wing. Man talaga. I think if he ever goes to higher tier leagues, he will play as a wing. But not in UP. Not in the UAAP view for that matter. He's a power forward. His height allows him to play at power forward, and he's needed at power forward. There's no way to put him at the wing. Sammy.
Can't argue with you guys on that. I think Francis Lopez is the clear number one as of right now. Willed his was very crucial to the team nung championship, 'di ba? Game-winning blocks, game-winning threes. So this guy is a two-way player. We've seen that. Siguro why he would be number one also on my board is, I think the first thing is, if you look at the top three players ng UAAP, ng UP last year, it was probably JD Kagulangan, QMB, and Francis Lopez. Those two other guys are gone. So I'm expecting a lot more from Francis Lopez. I know Ray Mogat is coming in, but I would say this is more Francis Lopez's team just because he's been there for 3 years and he's one of the main stars from last year's championship team. So I expect more from Francis Lopez, and I think there will be a lot of responsibility given to him. Although I know other guys are still there, like Harold Alarcon is still there. So
I think Harold Alarcon might have something to say about Francis's team. I think I'm the better
We'll
player
see.
among the two.
We'll see. We'll find out sooner or later. Kasi ang problem with Harold is may ka-share siya, 'di ba? Si Ray Remogat na naman. With Francis talagang he's clearly like the best power forward or the best guy at his position. The
Malay
second
mo, si
thing,
Belmonte uli mag-start.
posible din. Actually, hindi din natin alam ano
Actually will
gagawin ni
not be
Coach Cole.
surprised.
I wouldn't be
actually will not
surprised too. Yeah. That's true. That's a good point. Ano sasabihin ko? The second thing, talking about yung defense, Gab, which you raised, that I also just wanted to share. I think the top five in total blocks from last season, all FSAs or crazy good centers like QMB and Mike Phillips. So top 5 is Konate, Ojarikre, QMB, Mike Phillips. The number 5, Francis Lopez, the only guy who's not over like 6'5".
I'm shocked he's not even at number 1 or number 2, Sam, to be honest.
Actually, nagulat din ako. But like, the blocks from last year were super underrated. That's one of the things that I loved from his game last
And
year. So
it
I hope
really
to see
shocks
that
me that he
more
doesn't
of
want to
that.
be called LeBron. Because he does those chase
It
down
reminds
LeBron
you of
blocks.
those LeBron chase down blocks, diba?
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's all in the heads of the guards, like, or the players in the UAP. When they have a fast break and they're playing against UP, I'm pretty sure they think Francis Lopez is in their heads, like, shit, nandito ba sa likod ko si Francis Lopez? Because I might not be able to make this. So he really changes the game. Yung chase down, yung blocking niya. Okay, moving forward. So for me, Francis Lopez number 1. G. Let's move on to your number 2, and I'm expecting also a clear number 2. At least for me, from my perspective, I'm curious where you're going here, Gab.
Actually, Sam, nung sinabi mo, I can't argue with the two. I was hoping that you would argue. I was hoping that Maui would argue with me and put Veejay Pre at number 1, because I told you I wanted to be spicy with this and put Veejay Pre at number 1. Because right now, honestly, I don't believe it yet. I don't believe that Veejay Pre is a better player than Francis Lopez. But come season 88, I will not be shocked if I am putting Veejay Pre at number 1.
Yeah. Actually,
go ahead.
sinabi mo kasi yan kanina when you did your introduction. So that was a clue to me. Sabi ko, okay. Francis Lopez, Veejay Pre, 1-2 nito. Kasi it's the same for me, diba? Like, maybe right now, kulang pa yung sample natin of Veejay Pre to like really lock him in at number 1. But with how good he's gotten, like in such a short span, baka nga after the preseason, Gab, mag-iba na yung ranking mo eh. Because he could be that good. We don't know, diba? So, when you said that kanina, parang I figured out. Sabi ko, alam ko na yung 1-2 ni Gab. And I agree. Anyway, go ahead.
And I don't think any UAAP fan would have any other player at number 1 and number 2. I think this is a close race between 1 and 2.
True.
You could
True.
put... you could have an argument for Veejay Pre at number 1 this early. Just seeing how he ended last season, he was taking more threes, hitting more threes, playmaking more. His numbers were way up. He had a 32-point career high game towards the end of the second round. He was on the ascension in the UAAP in the second round. He mentioned it when we interviewed him after his grade 11 season in the UAAP, when majority of his teammates had gone to college in a genre. His coach told him that he should have a handle and he should learn how to play make. And in one off season, he learned how to dribble, he learned how to pass, he learned how to play make. This guy only learned how to play, and even learned how to play basketball, but formally trained in basketball at the age of 17, and he's this good. I'm rooting for this guy. I think he's gonna have a big season. Now, I think a lot of FEU fans are nervous. He hasn't played for FEU yet in Asia Basket. Have that tweet which he deleted. I think it's
Oh
making
my
the
God.
rounds now.
Delikado.
So, yes, a lot of FEU fans are nervous. I'm sure yung biggest FEU fan natin, si Jeffrey, mag-slide in sa DMC ay sa comment section yan yung mamaya. Maybe confirm or deny whether the Veejay Pre rumors or whatever thing is hunting you Veejay Pre is gonna come true. But yeah,
Comment down below. Comment
Yung-
down below.
comment down below. I mean, he's the face of FEU now. I don't think that's a doubt. See Sean Chambers called him the future of Philippine basketball, and he doesn't agree with Coach Sean Chambers, but I think all of us agree with Sean Chambers because we've seen how this guy has just ascended, and his game has gone up leaps and bounds since he was in high school, and I'm excited. I want to watch FEU just for Veejay Pre. That's how much of a fan I am of this guy. Plus, talking to him, so just a humble guy, very unassuming. You know, ang sarap kausap. You know, comes from very humble roots. I really want to see him succeed. I really want him to bring a championship to FEU, or even bring FEU back to the Final Four, and even to the finals. I do think they have the talent for that. Let's see this season what else can he add to his repertoire, because I really think he's a superstar. He's a superstar in the making. I'm excited. Nakita naman sa mukha ko. So excited ako yung makita si Veejay Pre. Maui Sam, I'm sure you're as excited as I am to see what else Veejay Pre can offer in his sophomore season. Yun eh.
I think yung maganda kay Veejay Pre is much like KQ, di ba? When you see him, you see something new. Di ba? Even during the UAAP season, you saw him develop leaps and bounds in three-point shooting niya, and really breaking out during the second round. Tama si Gabby, if I were an FEU fan, I'd probably be so nervous right now with everything's happening. It's weird that he isn't playing, diba, sa Asia Basket, but I hope he decides to play for FEU. I don't want him taking another transferring to another team and taking a year off, diba, of organized basketball. I think that would stunt his development, overall development, diba? Sayang yung momentum niya the past few seasons, the past few years. As we've learned, he has only played organized basketball, I think, less than even 5 years, diba? The development has been crazy. Every season he comes with a different facet. I think right now, the reason why I agree that si Veejay Pre is number 2 is just because si Francis can affect the game in a multitude of ways. Diba? Even yung defense niya is very crucial to UP, wherein he can guard basically the best player from any team in any position, probably 1 to 5. Some FSAs maybe not, si Phillips maybe not, but most of them medyo LeBron-esque, di ba? As his name is, his nickname is. But I think sky's the rocket for Veejay Pre, and it would be disappointing for me to see him moving to another school if he does decide to move to another school. Hopefully he doesn't. I think with FEU, his development has been great. Diba? And I think Sean Chambers is the perfect coach to harness his talents. Kasi Sean Chambers is not afraid to challenge him, di ba? Even if he didn't want to shoot his 3-pointers, Sean Chambers encouraged him to take, I think, 5 3-pointers during the second round. You need to have a coach like that, and you need to have a program that will utilize your talent to the fullest, di ba? Imagine if you transfer to a team like UP, you'll be playing with a super loaded team, and we don't know what will happen, di ba? If players like Belmonte takes the next step, or even worse, if you transfer and Francis Lopez is still there, di ba? So if you transfer to LaSalle, you'll be playing against Amos, Cono, Pablo. I know he has the talent to be the best power forward in any UAAP school, but I think that it's just perfect in FEU, diba? They value his talents, they value his development, and the coach believes that he can be a very crucial piece in Philippine basketball. I don't know if you can find that in any other school, but for VJ, Francis VJ also, I hope he also develops in defensive game niya. I think he has the tools to be a similar player like Lopez to guard multiple positions. Hopefully he doesn't have to play 35 to 40 minutes a game in season 88, so he can not just focus on one end but focus on both ends. And maybe he surprises us as a top defensive player also, because I really think he has the tools. He has the speed, he has the strength, diba? He has the athleticism to get steals and blocks, but yeah, hopefully, I guess that should be the number one goal of FEU right now, to make sure that they keep Francis Veejay Pre in with an FEU jersey this off season. It would be crazy to see him transfer, but we've seen it in the past, diba? With Remogat, somebody who's been saying that he won't transfer and says that he transferred with the same reasons that Francis with Veejay Pre's reason in his tweet, di ba? Family decision. Sam.
I think FU fans watching this episode, medyo kinakabahan sa mga sinasabi niya about Veejay Pre. They weren't expecting probably us talking about that. But yeah, they should be worried if umalis si Veejay Pre, because he's not only the future of FEU. Tama ka, Maui. Sabi ni Coach Sean, he's the future of Philippine basketball. And if he continues to grow and develop, he could very well be the future of Philippine basketball, diba? Very exciting to have someone of his talents and his skill set join Gilas or play for the Philippines. I agree with this pick. I think siguro if you're an FEU fan, you're sort of banking on yung brotherhood among like the FEU juniors guys. Kasi when we talk to Veejay Pre, he loves playing with his FEU boys basketball teammates, diba? That's one of the things that he enjoys. Then he's very close with sina si Pasaol, Jedrick Daa, yeah. So
Parang
siguro that's
parang familiar yun with another person we interviewed, si Amos, 'di ba? Sabi Gilas brothers daw niya.
Oo nga, no. So yun. So, siguro yan yung something, ikaw, Maui,
Do we have a curse?
Oo nga, yung mga in-interview natin, oo nga, no. So anyway, I think that's one advantage. But I also just wanted to bring up yung minutes, kasi I think that would also help Veejay Pre play better this coming season. Hopefully, he will play less minutes, kasi I think we talked about this before, yung kay Mo Konate. Top 3 in minutes played. Mo Konate, Precious Momoe, and then number 3 was Veejay Pre. So, I think factor then for Veejay Pre, like, he would run out of gas. Just like Mo Konate, napapagod din si Veejay Pre at the end of like games, and I think that sort of affected yung efficiency niya sa dulo. So, I'm hoping FEU can give him more help para lang he doesn't have to do everything all throughout the game.
Yung backup ko pa naman si Aaron Baguno.
Nandun pa rin si Baguno. Sa comment section, sabi nga ni nandun pa rin si Baguno. But
I think Cholo Año Nuevo is still coming back for next season.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
So
I heard that then, yeah.
baka may kapalitan si VJ pa doon. Kirby Moncopa is said to be coming back at season 88.
Although hindi pa siya
So,
naglalaro. So we
hindi pa
haven't
siya naglalaro.
seen Moncopa yet. Yeah.
He's said to be coming back. So that's another one who can play
Mm-hmm.
VJ's position. So there is hope that there'll be
Exactly.
help from the bench. Oh, go ahead.
Exactly. So that's what I'm hoping for. Kasi last season, Gab, I think you pointed out they had no bench. They could barely play anyone from their bench, 'di ba? So that's what I'm hoping for this year. For Veejay Pre, so that he can sort of doesn't have to carry that much load and he can preserve himself all throughout the game. So yun lang, but I agree. Top 2 these guys, clear top 2. You can argue which one is number 1, which one is number 2, but clearly these two guys are the two best power forwards in the UAAP in season 88. So, I'm curious, Gab, where are you going with number 3? Kasi may clear top 2 tayo, pero etong number 3 to 5, you can go different ways. So, let's see Gab's number 3.
Call me a homer. Maybe it's recency bias. I know Maui Up will love this, but my number 3 is Kimani Ladi of the Ateneo Blue Eagles. I'm on the hype train. I love this guy already, but I think he can give VJ and Francis a run for their money in season 88. This guy's pretty good. A guy who can sweet stroke from the outside, can take it inside the paint, hasn't freakishly athletic as well, can take it to the basket, can battle with big guys like Mike Phillips, like Sina Mason. He's already shown that. I love his game, and you talk about usage, he's gonna get a lot of touches. They're already feeding him a ton of looks and plays already in the preseason. I think Coach Tab knows what he has in Kimani Ladi. He's putting Kimani in spots where he's good at. He's a lot of pick and pops, a lot of corner threes, open looks. This is something Ateneo did not have. A guy as tall as him who can knock down shots at a consistent rate and can also take it to the basket at will and can not give an inch defensively. He's not an excellent defender, but he tries on the defensive end. You could see it when he plays. He tries. He fights for those rebounds. He's very slim. I think that's one thing you're going against him. But I think that helps his frame a bit. His game. He's pretty long, and he can get jump shots off over almost any defender just because of how long he is. I think he's gonna be one of the contenders for a mythical 5 slot. I really think so. Now, Sam, who else is Ateneo going to a power forward?
Yeah.
Josh Lazaro and when Chris Porter comes back. But yeah, he's the clear starting power forward for Ateneo. It's only been a few games in Asia Basket, but I love what I've seen. They're clearly running a lot of offense through Kimani Ladi. And he's getting a ton of shots off. He rebounds the ball. He plays the passing lanes pretty well. Again, long arms really helps when you have those long arms. And he's a wing. He played as a wing in the US. So again, just another guy who is naturally playing at the wing but plays a power forward here in the Philippines. I'm excited. I think he's bound to have. I think he's a one and done. He's bound to have a big season for the Blue Eagles. Will probably help their chances to make the Final Four. Sammy or Maui?
Singit lang. Fun fact, guys. This is the first Atenean that Gab picked for the top 5. Sa guard at sa wing, he did not pick an Atenean. So hindi naman homer si Gab. To be fair to Gab, first Ateneo pick
I'm
pa
just
lang
being
naman
real, guys. Sam, kailangan ko lang maging real. I'm sorry. I cannot put every single Ateneo player into a top 5 list. I mean, come on. But eto, I think just watching him against LaSalle alone, my God, you already see.
Pero again, Gab, I don't think don't think homework ka naman for like picking Kimani Ladi. I had him number 3 then. And I don't think ikaw lang yung hyped or Ateneo fans lang yung hyped. You know, after that Lasal Ateneo game sa Asia Basket, Lasal friends were texting me, sino yung Kimani Ladi guy? Like, super galing niya, solid. Ang ganda nung galaw niya. Everybody was hyped for Kimani Ladi. Not just you, even other fans, like fans from Lasal. So, I think the hype is real on this guy. And what makes him a clear number 3 for me is yung usage, sabi mo nga. Kasi wala namang iba sa ano eh, 'di ba, sa Ateneo where like for example, maybe we'll talk about another power forward later on another team na very deep yung lineup, and the problem with that team is he might not get that much usage. I don't know kung nasa pick mo yun, but that's going to be like my number 4 power forward. But Maui, what do you think about Kimani Ladi at number 3?
Yeah, I think the hype is real for Kimani Ladi. I think yung problem lang or yung sad part lang is for Ateneans is that it looks like he's a one and done. From what I've been hearing, what we've been hearing, nag-research pa ako dyan. Kasi I really wanted to
Nico
know.
also mentioned it, di ba?
Yeah, Nico also mentioned it. I asked somebody also from the Ateneo team, and thank you for that guy for confirming. I think he is a one and done for Ateneo. I think it's the age part. Kasi if you research online, you'll see that he only played 2 or 3, I think 2 seasons in the US, but I think he's gonna be over age come season 89. So 1 season, Ateneo will have to milk the cow, as they say, kay Kimani Ladi. He'll only be able to be a one and done player. But shades of Kai Balungay, I think, for Ateneo fans. Very similar for a big that has an outside shot. But if you compare them closely, I think that's the only part of their game na synonymous, diba? Kimani Ladi is more of a wing than a big. I think si Kai Balungay operated in the post more and maybe in the high post. Si Kimani Ladi can drive to the basket. Si Kimani Ladi usually plays in the perimeter also, and also goes for those steals, diba, in passing lanes, which lead to easy dunks. I think Ateneo fans should be excited. Despite him only playing 1 season, he gives that glimmer of hope for Ateneo fans. I love that he can score in a multitude of ways, which is showed against LaSalle, diba? He can drive to the basket. He has a lot of moves, counters in the paint. He has a very steady 3-point shot based on some of the games that I've seen. And I think the thing that really will help Ateneo a lot is yung rebounding. Diba? So if you watch last season, Ateneo was basically manhandled by most teams, by most FSAs. But if you watch the game against LaSalle, despite only playing Divine Adili for 9 minutes, I don't think Ateneo was out-rebounded by more than 10. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I remember the box score correctly. And I think it really boiled down to having another option, not just Josh Lazaro, to play the backup center minutes, diba?
Or Porter.
I know si Kyle Ong also did a good job. Ateneo still needs Porter, but I would be surprised if Kimani doesn't play 25 to 30 minutes for Ateneo, and will surely get a ton of usage, diba? Kasi Jared Bahay will finally be able to play with a big man or with a wing player who can play off the ball, shoot from the perimeter, drive to the basket, get easy pass break points. I think having him with Tuano will. I wouldn't be surprised if Ateneo plays fast this season, kasi si Kimani Ladi also runs the floor from what I've seen during the past few games for Ateneo. But yeah, si Kimani Ladi, I don't think, or I would argue that my 4th pick, which could be your 4th pick, still has an argument to be the 3rd best power forward. But I'm excited. I think much like Sammy, my cell phone has been blowing up about Kimani Ladi. Not even si Divine Adili, more of si Kimani Ladi. Who's this guy for Ateneo? We love how he plays. He's very versatile. And I think that's his main strength, yung versatility niya, which is also the main strength of the top two power forwards from Gab's list, di ba? I think that's a trend. Gab.
Yep. I'm excited too for Kimani Ladi. But at number 4, I'm sorry to disappoint. I don't think I have your man here, Maui Up. But I think this is gonna be a shocker for both Maui and Sam. Because at number 4, I'm putting my first Adamson Falcon in AJ Fransman. Another guy who can, I think, is a natural wing. But honestly, due to the lack of size of Adamson, he plays power forward majority of the time. I like what I've seen from AJ Fransman. Towards the end of season 87 and now in the preseason, he's upping his usage. This is always what I look for when I look for young guys who play small roles or just being a role player in their first few seasons. How can they scale up? It was one of the reasons why I was very high on Matt Erolon coming into season 87. Sabi ko, I think one of the potentially breakout players season 87, si Matt Erolon, you watch out for that guy. Why? Because when he was given the amount of usage that Coach Nats did give to him, I think it was during Pinoy Liga, lahat ng usage, halos kay Matt Erolon, he scaled up. That's always yung what I'm looking for in potential star players. Yes, you played as a role player, but when given the opportunity, can you scale up your game? AJ Fransman has shown you. I think he played yesterday. I think they lost, but he still played yesterday and was able to up his usage. He can now. He shown flashes of creation, playmaking. We already know that he can score, but how consistently is that outside shot? He's a 3-level scorer. I think he's primed to have a big season in Adamson. Again, another guy, no competition for minutes. I don't think anyone on Adamson plays the same position or even plays close to the same level as an AJ Fransman. I don't think he has any competition for playing time. He'll be getting easily 25 to 30 minutes a game or maybe closer to 25. I mean, Coach Nash does run a very deep rotation, but I don't think he has anyone on the same level or the same skill set or size even of an AJ Fransman. Very underrated because he plays for Adamson. I don't think a lot of people watch Adamson games. One, because they're very slow and they're very low scoring. And plus, they don't have big name stars. No? Maybe aside from Cedric Manzano. But he's not, he doesn't even average yung double figure scoring despite being a star yung for Adamson. But I think si AJ Fransman, I debated whether I put si AJ Fransman here or si Devin Fikes from UE. But I think I give the edge to AJ Fransman for now. The versatility of his game is a lot more broad than Devin Fikes. So I am giving the edge to AJ Fransman. Maui, I think you're a bit shocked.
well, I think your shock really comes from kasi with Sammy and I were talking.
Yeah,
before
nag-usap
you
kami
came on.
before you came on. Yeah.
Before you came on sa studio natin, I think si Fransman we classified as a wing, not as a power forward, more of a small forward. But yeah, I think this warrants yung positioning niya here is warranted naman. Fransman is versatile. He can play both forward spots. He can even slide to the 2. I think the biggest thing for him is really being more consistent. Diba? He had big games last season, but there were games that he was a ghost. So I think if he develops that consistency, I think he has the tools to be a good pro player. Maganda size eh. Diba? And you can see, maganda na yung body ni Fransman. He's probably pro-ready yung body. I think him developing a consistent outside shot and maybe developing more yung yung ball handling niya can really unlock a different ceiling to his game. But very exciting wing player for Adamson. And as you said, people who don't talk about, despite him being an exciting player to watch out for. Kasi very explosive din. And I was actually surprised that Adamson was able to get him. Diba? From all the hype where he came from. But hopefully this is the season that he takes that leap to catapult his name. Makilala na siya and he can get to the pros. But I love how he plays. I think yung consistency lang talaga is the main thing that I would be looking at coming into season 88. But I would still argue that the guy that you're not gonna put in your top 5, kasi you mentioned that your number 5 is Devin Fikes, should be in the top 5.
No. My number 5 is not Devin Fikes. So I'm gonna name him right now. Sam, I think you should show the slide. Just so, because I think Maui has him at number 4. I have you Mason Amos at 5.
Okay.
Okay, wait lang. Sige, Sam, you can go after this. I put Mason. I don't doubt the talent. At all. The skill set is really good. His shooting touch is unbelievable. But I really doubt the role and the usage that he's gonna get. I just watched Lasal San Beda a few minutes ago. A few minutes ago. He took 5 shots in 20 minutes, scored 6 points. They virtually don't run anything for Mason Amos in LaSalle. He's a spot-up shooter. Now, he's probably going to be the best spot-up shooter in the UAAP. I mean, you given his skill set, but I highly doubt that he's going to put up the same numbers that he did in his rookie season. I just don't think so. 6 shots? 5 shots? Really? And I think he played only 20 minutes. He was not in foul trouble. Just because San Beda played small a while ago and he couldn't keep up, so they were playing more small guys. They were going with Mike at the 5, and then 4 other small guys could keep up defensively with San Beda. I think you're going to see the same problem again with Mason. Now, in the game against Ateneo, he did a good job in sliding his feet, but the fact that Coach Topex does not give him that responsibility to be in crunch time on the defensive side of the floor when teams go small says something. And again, 5 shots. That tells you all you need to know. They don't run anything for him. I watched the entire San Beda LaSalle game. They played their UAP rotation. They didn't run offense through Mason. This is my worry. I still believe in the talent. I love Mason's game. The problem is he's on a team where their 2 guards are high usage. Si Makalalag coming off the bench is a high usage guy. Siguro a mid-tier usage guy, but can handle the ball. Mike Phillips handles the ball. Where is Mason gonna get his shots? Where is Mason gonna get opportunity to put up numbers? He's not he's not a plus defender. His offense is his main strength. And if on offense he's like the 4th, 5th option, then I don't think you can have an argument for him catapulting to the top of this ranking. Take a look at the 4 other guys I have on top of him. These are guys who are gonna have big minutes, big usage, because the team is gonna depend a lot on them for shots, for offense. And some are better defenders than Mason Amos. So that's my argument. I wanted to put Mason at 3, 4, but I can't. He's gonna be a spot-up shooter. That's just his role now in LaSalle. Unfortunately for him. Sammy, you go ahead. Did you have Mason at 4?
Yes, I did. So I had Mason at 4. So siya yung na-mention ko kanina. I'm not, like, skill-wise, alam natin he has the talent, he has the skills. We've seen him play for Ateneo and, dominate in some games. I think the main argument for him, which you already mentioned, is yung usage, diba? And that's why I was arguing between Kimani Ladi versus Mason Amos. Syempre, Kimani hasn't played a single game in the UAAP yet. At least si Mason, we've seen him. But I was thinking, compare yung usage nung dalawang yon. There's just, at LaSalle is just so deep, diba? At the center, you have Mike Phillips and their FSA, whether it's Nuwangko, Agunane, or someone else. And then at the power forward slot, you have Mason, you have Pablo, nandun pa nga sina Konov, diba? So, it's the usage. And malay mo, 'di ba? Lasal gets like another 6-7 guy. We don't know yet. The recruitment is not done yet. And I wouldn't be surprised if merong makuha ulit yung Lasal. So, yun yung main argument for him. And I
Wag
do
naman si
agree with
Veejay
that.
Pre.
Hindi na, well, that's not for this season at least, Maui, diba? So, that's the main argument against Mason, and that's why I had to bump him down to number 4 and put Kimani Ladi at number 3. I think I do agree na yung 4 and 5 mo are in terms of like the order, I don't know, but if you compare the 4 and 5 that you have, AJ Fransman and Mason Amos, to your top 3, I would say one of the differences talaga would be number 1 yung versatility, which I think Maui mentioned earlier. The top 3 guys, very versatile players. Second, the top 3 guys, well, Veejay Pre kulang pa, but like good defenders. Generally good defenders or like plus defenders. I think the problem with Mason and a little bit of Fransman, I think they need to work on their defense pa for me. So that's why I would put them like at a tier below. Maui, I think you also had Mason at number 4.
Yes. But that was before we decided, or I realized that si AJ Fransman could be an option also for this. So basically have mostly the same ranking with Gab, maybe some tweaks. But yeah, si Amos is understandable, diba? Kasi he won't get the usage. I think this season will be humbling for him. Diba? Kasi with Ateneo, if he stayed in last season, I think he would have probably averaged close to 15 shots a game, to be honest. And with LaSalle, 2 very big games, diba? Against San Beda and versus Ateneo, 9 shots and 5 shots, diba? So I don't think he would average 10 attempts a game, and that really spells the difference of you being a huge impact, a top player in your position, diba? In the UAAP, it's not like Mason can average 2 steals and 2 blocks and be that defensive anchor for LaSalle, diba? So his main strength is his offense, and his value is in his outside shooting and his offense. And sad to say, he transferred to LaSalle to hopefully play for a wing, to convert to a wing, but LaSalle is basically utilizing him the same way he was utilized by Ateneo early in the season, diba? During his rookie season, as basically a spot-up shooter. Diba? Maybe Ateneo utilized him in the wing, and LaSalle is utilizing him in the corner, but at the end of the day, it's still the same role. He is their floor spacer. He is their de facto floor spacer for LaSalle, diba? And I'm not sure that he will get a chance to showcase his development this season, diba? And he only has 2 seasons to play for LaSalle, diba? And I think si Jacob Cortez and Baclaan has the same number of, or even more, years of eligibility. So will he be able to showcase his talents? Will he be able to try to convert to a wing? I think that was the main reason why he decided to transfer, diba, to LaSalle. And if Ateneo skyrockets a top team also, top team, not maybe the same level as a UP or LaSalle, but a Final Four contender, if I were Mason, I would probably be doubting. Maybe not 100%, but a certain percentage of me would be doubting my move to LaSalle. Diba? Kasi it looks like he's not the main guy. He's not gonna be the main guy his whole UAAP stay. And he's not gonna be the main focus. Diba? It's not like with KQ that they really put all the resources he needed to be able to convert. And with Mike Phillips, diba, they put all the resources. LaSalle has all the firepower. LaSalle has all the potential, the prospects, that they don't have to really prioritize the development of a Mason Amos. Unlike if he was in Ateneo, he would be probably guy number 2. Diba? Outside maybe Jared Bahay and maybe si Kimani Ladi this season. Diba? So I think that's the main difference when he transferred to LaSalle. So let's see, maybe he still surprises us. Diba? I mean, maybe LaSalle is just taking it easy and really utilizing si Baclaan and Cortez first, and then maybe we see more plays run for Amos come season 8-8. But it doesn't look good. Diba? It looks gloom as of the moment. You know that there are just too many mouths to feed for Lasal, similar with UP.
Okay, masabi ko lang, no, because I did not have AJ Fransman as in my power forwards. I was choosing between I was choosing among three guys dun sa number 5 slot ko. I had Josh Lazaro, Devin Fikes, and also si Jello Crisostomo. So I would say those three guys are pretty much like on par. Like all three guys showed flashes of their brilliance last season. I think certain games they were like the best player on their team, but yung problem with those three guys for them to like sort of make it siguro consistently to the top 5 would be yun, consistency, I think. So that's what I'm looking for from them this season. I would say among the three, if you had to choose, maybe you'd pick Devin Fikes just because siya yung probably most probable starter for UA, and he would get a lot of minutes. Jello Crisostomo probably would be also starting, but he also is playing with like three superstars in like Fortsky, Nick Caballero, and si Mo, 'di ba? So, yun yung question mark sa kay Crisostomo. Josh Lazaro, I think could be here in the top 5, pero with Kimani Ladi, like he's sharing minutes with Kimani, so it might be difficult for Josh Lazaro to get in. So for me, number 5, maybe Devin Fikes, but I do personal preference ko would be actually Jello Crisostomo. I really like that guy. I love his game. I think he's a good fit sa
May
UST
upside.
with what they have. May upside. So I'm expecting a lot from him this season. So personal preference, I would put Crisostomo here at number 5. Kung hindi si Fransman.
Actually, I had another guy that I was debating, yung bata ni Maui, si Jolo Manansala of NU. I was debating whether to put him here.
Medyo
I
wing
didn't put
din
him
kasi siya eh, no?
yung medyo wing, but he
minsan,
plays power forward. I mean, Sam, parang 3 of the top 5 are just wing players already, but they play power forwards. AJ Fransman is really a wing. I mean, I don't think you can argue that. But he plays power forward in Adamson just because they lack someone of his size who can play power forward and who can match up with other power forwards. He's already an undersized power forward as it is, but the lack of options makes him a wing. Si Josh Lazaro, I think someone in our previous top 5 commented, why isn't Josh Lazaro here? Sabi ko, for one, he's a power forward. And second, there's just no way he's gonna get the same amount of usage and minutes as he did last season because he's playing behind Kimani Ladi. He's gonna be a role player, yung and a bench player once again. Jello Crisostomo I found very interesting because wala na si Manaytay, he has the run, he has all the space, all the clear opportunity for big minutes in season 88. I think he has the potential to be in this top 5 if he can improve just shooting itself. If he can have a reliable outside shot, I think
he looked good against UE, yung Pinoy Liga Championships, yung Global Invitational Championships. He was hitting his threes and he's going to get a lot of open shots there if Fortsky and Nick Caballero are getting double team, 'di ba? So yun yung may opportunity talaga for Crisostomo.
Yep. And minutes also. Wala siyang competition for minutes right now. I mean, sino? Name him. I don't think he has any competition at his spot. Wala na kasi Manaytay. Yun yung kapalitan niya. Don't say Eko Laure Maui. I know yung mukhang yan. Okay, so wala siyang competition for minutes. Coach, we don't trust him enough to put him on. Si Francis Lopez ngayon, binabantayan nga niya during the Final Four eh. So obviously he's not in Coach Pido's doghouse. He has the full trust of Coach Pido. Si Devin Fikes, again, another guy, walang competition for minutes. Not much usage, yung despite all the minutes. I mean, a lot of the usage does go to Momoway and to the shooters of UE. But a guy is pretty solid. A pretty solid power forward. One of the more important guys in UE. Maui. So You mentioned you had Mason at 4. You seen number 5 mo?
My number 5 would have been si Jello Crisostomo. Kasi I really think that he can scale up, di ba? I think, much like si Fransman, maybe the biggest question is consistency. Kasi he had big games already last season. Against Ateneo, I remember that game was unstoppable. I hope he continues to develop, di ba? And eventually as a wing player kasi he has very good size. But yeah, si Devin Fikes, Cholo Nuevo, Lazaro, some of the names I thought about, but those guys will not get the same usage as the top 5 or 6 if we include Fransman we mentioned, di ba? I think these guys, Devin Fikes, I think there were games that he shot close to 20 shots a game. May nakita akong game last season 4 for 16 yata siya eh. Di ba? So I don't know if he will get the same usage for this season. And if Coach Chris will encourage him to shoot the outside shot. Kasi sobrang inconsistent from last season. But I hope the Rui Hachimura of the Philippines also continues to develop, 'di ba? Kasi I think if we look at Philippine basketball right now, the landscape of Gilas, our weakest positions are generally the 3 and 4 slot, 'di ba? So we want 6'4 to 6'8 guys to thrive and eventually suit up for the national team.
Okay, just to recap, PoloGab's top 5 power forwards for UAP season 88. Way too early, top 5. Francis Lopez, Veejay Pre, Kimani Ladi, AJ Fransman, and number 5, Mason Amos. So that's it for today's episode. Stay tuned. We'll record our final top 5, our top 5 centers or big men for season 88. Comment down below your thoughts on our list, your own list, share your own list, and please like the video if you love it, share it with your friends, subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.